Why is there suffering? I mean, really, why do some of us face these huge physical challenges while others seem to coast by? It's probably one of the oldest, most human questions there is. So today, we're going to dive into an ancient philosophical framework that offers a pretty radical way of looking at this whole thing. And really, it all boils down to this one question, doesn't it? Whether you think about it in a religious way, a philosophical way, or just, as a person trying to make sense of the world. Why would a universe that has any kind of order or intelligence include things that cause so much pain? And look, this isn't some new age dilemma we just came up with. For thousands of years, almost every major culture on the planet has wrestled with this exact problem of suffering. It's a core part of what it means to be human, trying to find meaning in a world that can often seem unfair. To start unpacking one of the deepest answers out there, we have to begin with the word you've definitely heard before, but maybe not in its original full depth: karma. So what is it? A simple system of punishment? Or is it something else entirely? Okay, let's just tackle the elephant in the room right away. There's this very common and, frankly, very challenging interpretation. Some ancient texts, like the Manusmriti, straight up say that a disability is payback for sins you committed in a past life. And we have to acknowledge that view has caused a lot of real-world harm and stigma over the centuries. But here is the big question. Is that the whole story? Not even close. If you dig deeper into the philosophical traditions, you find a perspective that's so much more nuanced and, honestly, so much more empowering. So you've got two totally different ways of looking at karma. On one hand, there's the popular idea of karma as some cosmic judge, dishing out rewards and punishments. But the deeper philosophical view, it sees karma more like a law of physics, like gravity. It's not angry at you, it's not judging you, it's just a neutral, impartial law of cause and effect. It's not personal, it's just how the cosmos works.
So if it's not a punishment, then what is it? Well, from this viewpoint, the life you were born into, every single circumstance, including any physical challenges, isn't a sentence. It's a perfectly tailored curriculum. It's a curated spiritual blueprint designed to give your soul the exact set of experiences it needs to learn, grow, and evolve.
And this isn't about being locked into your fate either. See, prarabdha karma, that's the hand you're dealt at birth. It's the stuff that's already in motion from the past, and you can't change it. But, and this is the important part, your real power is right here, right now, with agami and kriyaman karma. Those are the choices you're making today, the actions you're taking this very moment. That's where your freedom is. That's how you shape your future, no matter where you started. Okay, so this brings us to the next massive shift in thinking, and it's all about identity. If your body and your circumstances are just part of the story, then who are you? Like, who are you really? First, this philosophy talks about the sharira. That's the physical body. Think of it like a biological machine, a temporary vehicle you're using. And just by its nature, it's going to break down. It gets sick, it gets old, it has limits. It was never meant to be perfect or last forever. But then there's the Atman. And this is the real you, the eternal self. It's described as this pure witnessing awareness that's never born and never dies. And crucially, it is completely untouched, unharmed, unstained by whatever happens to the physical body. The ancient sages in the Upanishads put it so beautifully. They said, the self, the Atman, is the unseen seer. It's not your eyes, it's the thing that sees through your eyes. It's the silent witness to everything you experience, including pain, but it isn't the pain itself. The clearest way to think about it is this analogy of the driver and the vehicle. Your body, the sharira, is the car you're driving through life. Your true self, the Atman, is the driver. Now, the car might get a flat tire, it might get dented, the engine might even totally fail, but the driver, your core consciousness, is perfectly fine, just observing the condition of the car. So, where does all our mental and emotional pain come from? Well, according to this, it comes from a very specific mistake in our thinking. It's called adhyasa. It's the mistake of looking at the dented car and thinking, I am dented. When we confuse our eternal, unchanging self with our temporary, changing body, we take on all its problems as our own. And that, right there, is the root of our suffering. All right, let's zoom out now, way out. If our individual challenges are part of a personal curriculum for our soul, how does that fit into the grand scheme of the whole universe? What's the cosmic reason for all this variety? This leads us to this amazing concept called Leela, which translates to divine play. The idea here is that the entire universe is one big creative performance by a single infinite consciousness. And for any play to be interesting, it needs variety, right? You need heroes and villains, joy and sorrow, light and shadow. The universe, in order to be complete, needs every possible kind of form and experience.
And the implication of that idea is just massive. Because if that's true, then from a cosmic perspective, there's no such thing as a normal body or an abnormal one. Every single form is just a different, unique expression of that one creative force. So disability gets completely reframed. It's not a flaw, it's simply an alternative form of being.
And this isn't just some abstract theory, you know? The classic texts are filled with these incredible figures who prove the point. You have Ashtavakra, who was born with severe physical deformities and became one of the most enlightened sages ever. You have Dhritarashtra, a blind king who ruled a whole empire. These stories are there to show us again and again that your purpose, your wisdom, your power, it has absolutely nothing to do with the condition of your body.
Okay, so we've got this deep cosmic philosophy. But what good is it if you can't use it in your actual life? How does all this ancient wisdom translate into a practical tool for building real resilience?
The core practice here is something called titiksha. It's a really powerful idea. It's the ability to bear life's ups and downs, the pleasure and the pain, the wins and the losses, to endure all of it with a kind of objective cheerfulness, without all the mental drama and complaining. Now, let's be really clear. This is not about just gritting your teeth and being a doormat to fate. It's called an intelligence accommodation. It's an active, smart practice of knowing what you can't change on the outside and then making a conscious choice not to let it wreck you on the inside. You practice this enough and you build what you could call emotional immunity. When you cultivate titiksha, you basically break that knee-jerk cycle of reacting to everything. You stop waging this constant mental war against your own life. You learn to handle all the pinpricks of existence, from tiny annoyances to major physical pain, without letting them control your inner peace. So at the end of the day, what this entire framework really does is it's revolutionary. It takes the whole story of disability as some tragedy or limitation and just flips it completely on its head. It turns it into a specialized, focused opportunity, a unique training ground for some of the deepest spiritual growth a person can experience. So we're going to end by turning the question around. If you accept this idea, just for a moment, that every single challenge, every limitation is actually a tool for your own evolution, then what is your life, exactly as it is right now, asking you to build?